What's up, family? So, nearly a dozen California officers have been charged in an FBI corruption case probe. Today on Rational Lunatic Media, coming to you, as always, from Rational Lunatic himself. Before we get started, though, click that like button, punch that subscribe button, flick that ding notification bell so you can stay up to date on all my latest content. If you're on TikTok and this video goes a little too long, jump over to YouTube. You can always catch the full video there. And if you want to know about the worst of the worst, the most heinous cops, judges, officials doing the most heinous acts to we the people, catch my Patreon, link in my YouTube, or just go to Patreon/Rational Lunatic. $5 a month for members only, not safe for life news. When I say not safe for life, I mean not safe for life news. It's the most heinous officials doing the most heinous acts against what I just said, we the people. And with that being said, though, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate and love each and every one of you, all my followers, all my watchers, all my haters, all the ones who love the channel, all the ones who don't. I don't care. I got a big heart, enough for everyone. And with that being said, let's get into this juicy little nugget, shall we? This report was done by ABC Los Angeles, News 4. California police officers charged with civil rights violations in FBI corruption probe. 3 of the officers are accused of conspiring to, quote, injure, oppress, threaten, and intimidate residents in Antioch, California, and later falsified reports about the encounters. Nearly a dozen Northern California police officers were charged Thursday in a federal corruption investigation that found evidence they committed civil rights violations and fraud in an effort to get a pay raise and lied on reports to cover up the use of excessive force, U.S. authorities said. Ismail J. Ramsey, U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of California, filed 4 indictments that outline charges including wire fraud, deprivation of rights under color of law, conspiracy against rights, and conspiracy to distribute anabolic steroids. 9 police officers and 1 community service officer are named in the charges, though only 2 are charged in multiple indictments. The investigation centered on the departments in Antioch and Pittsburgh, 2 cities in the San Francisco Bay Area. Only 3 of the officers remain employed by the departments and were not on active duty, officials said. Arrest warrants were served Thursday in California, Texas, and Hawaii, said Robert Tripp, special agent in charge of the FBI's San Francisco field office. One has not yet been arrested, officials said. Morteza Amiri, Eric Allen Rombaugh, Patrick Burhan, Samantha Peterson, Brawley Rodriguez Zalapa, and Ernesto Juan Mejia Orozco. Sorry, that's a hard last name. Ernesto Juan Mejia Orozco pleaded not guilty to various charges, and most were released on conditions that they posted property bonds, the Bay Area News Group reported. Rombaugh appeared in Oakland federal court dressed in ripped clothes with bloody hands and knees and wearing a shirt that read, "Don't weaken," the Bay Area News Group reported. Hold on. So this piece of trash showed up in ripped clothes with bloody hands and knees, which I'm guessing is fake blood, wearing a shirt that read, "Don't weaken." What, don't weaken the police department by taking all you corrupt trash cops out the way? Is that what that's supposed to mean? Come on, bro, give me a break. His attorney, Will Edelman, I'm pretty sure his attorney, shook his head like, I told you don't do that, bro. Like, why would you do that? I'm trying to save your life here, stupid. Dumbass of the year. His attorney, Will Edelman, told the judge that there was, quote, absolutely no reason that his client had to be taken into custody and handcuffed because he would have willingly appeared if ordered. Oh, maybe he was. Maybe it wasn't fake blood. Maybe they tackled him to the ground and that's what he was wearing, and they had to go pick him up on a warrant, and he resisted or ran or, deserved to get tackled for some reason. The defendants could face decades in federal prison if convicted of the charges. Decades in federal prison. Ooh. Tripp said the arrests were the results of a 2-year investigation. Any breach of the public's trust is absolutely unacceptable, Tripp said while discussing charges against Antioch officers that include using their official positions as officers to deprive people of their rights. Charges against Amiri Rombaugh and Devin Christopher Winger say the 3 Antioch police officers conspired between February 2019 and March 2022 to injure, oppress, threaten, and intimidate residents of Antioch, California, and later falsified reports about the encounters. In obscenity-laden text messages, the 3 men referred to some suspects as gorillas. They laughed and joked about harming people who apparently had surrendered or appeared to be asleep by setting Amiri's police dog on. They laughed and joked about harming people who apparently had surrendered, so were in handcuffs, or not handcuffs, but like surrendered, or appeared to be asleep by setting Amiri's police dog on them. Could you imagine waking up to a dog just taking your arm off? Or Rambo shooting them with a 40 millimeter, less lethal projectile launcher, the indictment said. So you're sleeping, or you give up, you're like, you're not running, you surrender, like, no problem, sir, get on my knees, legs crossed, hands behind my back, and then you get a dog, rah, rah, or you get, uh, shot by something which is still a gun, but not quite, it's not lethal, so it's not like getting shot by, like, a 22, which usually isn't lethal, but it'll still do a lot of damage if it hits the right spots. But it's not a BB gun, which means it's a lot more severe. You know what I mean? Like, God, or you're sleeping and that happens. That's insane. Prosecutors say from 2019 to 2021, the dog bit 28 people, while Rambo used the launcher 11 times in 2020 and 2021. So when it says launcher, I'm 40 millimeter. I'm guessing it's like a beanbag launcher is what they're talking about, maybe? Like, those beanbag shotguns? I'm thinking that's what they're talking about. Amiri posted graphic photos of the dog wounds, and Rambo said he was keeping the projectiles to make a trophy flag, according to the indictment. In one case, a man suspected of 5 armed robberies had given up and was lying on the ground when Amiri's canine bit him, the indictment alleged. In one text, Amiri wrote, let's effing obscenity some people, let's F some people up next work week. Amiri says that he will find some action and write up the police report, adding, quote, just come over and crush some skulls. Like I keep saying, wannabe gangsters. They're wannabe gangsters with badges. They're like, straight up, just wannabe thugs, bro. Like, they're not cops. In one 2020 text sequence, Amiri says that he confronted a transient he believed had stolen his mail and, quote, dragged him to the back of a car to discuss the matter. LOL, putting a pistol in someone's mouth and telling them to stop stealing isn't illegal, he texted. It's an act of public service to prevent further victims of crimes. Defendants authored police reports contained false and misleading statements to suggest that the force they used was necessary and justifiable. The indictment said, in truth and in fact, and as the defendants well knew, defendants willfully used excessive force in numerous incidents, including those identified in this indictment. Police unions did not immediately respond to requests for information on whether the defendants had lawyers who can speak on their behalf. Emails to the Pittsburgh and Antioch police departments seeking comment were not immediately returned. Thousands of incendiary text messages by more than a dozen officers in the Antioch Police Department had previously come to light and led to a federal lawsuit. The text contained derogatory, racist, homophobic, and sexually explicit language. In some of them, the officers bragged about making up evidence and beating up suspects. They freely used racial slurs and made light of the police killing of George Floyd in 2020. The city of Antioch, with about 115,000 residents, 45 miles or 72 kilometers east of San Francisco, was once predominantly white, but has diversified in the last 30 years. Federal and state prosecutors have dropped or dismissed dozens of cases that relied on the impugnant officers, and the city now faces a federal civil rights lawsuit over the text messages. Yeah, there's so many inmates. Like, oh man, if I was in California prison or jail right now, and these cops were like, I was detained by some of these cops. I mean, let me rephrase that. If I was in California prison or jail right now, I would be praying that it was one of these cops who detained me, because there's gonna be so many people that are gonna be able to get released after this. If you live in California and you find out that you know somebody that's been arrested, and you find out it was by one of these officers, or if you don't know, you need to find out, because you could have not only them getting released, but a major lawsuit just by the fact that they talked or text messaged. If the date that person was arrested, if they have text messages around that date, that's all the proof you need to say, look, they're talking about my niece, my son, my uncle, my dad, my mother. You know what I mean? You can say those texts are, you believe they're directly toward, your family member or yourself, and you can get not only released, but you can then sue the state and get paid, bro. Like, honestly, I'd be praying that it was one of these fools that arrested me, because that's what I'd be looking into right now if I were any of y'all that lives in California that have been locked up within those years, or that are locked up right now. Jalapa, Magia Orozco, and Amanda Carmela Theodosi Nash, as well as Antioch Community Service Officer Peterson, were charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud and wire fraud surrounding allegations they had other people take and complete online university courses towards a criminal justice degree. The police departments offered reimbursement for college tuition and pay raises for those who graduated college, prosecutors said. So they had others take classes for them so they can get pay raises for going to college and graduating. And then they could get the college reimbursed too. So they could have like someone get a degree under their name, online classes, and then get reimbursed for all that, plus get a raise because they got a college degree and stuff. Like, Jesus. Two Antioch officers, Daniel Harris and Winger, were charged with several counts related to disturbing anabolic steroids. So these are multiple officers within one big case, but different indictments. Like you got 4 or 5 officers indicted for abusing citizens. You got a couple indicted for abusing the system, so they can, embezzle money or what did it say? It didn't say embezzlement. It said or like wire fraud, so they could fraud, defraud, the government or the state. And then you got other officers, uh, selling and doing drugs. Like multiple indictments in one probe within 2 police departments in California. Jesus. Another Antioch officer, Timothy Manley Williams, faces charges related to obstruction of a federal investigation for allegedly using a personal cell phone in 2021 to talk to the target of an FBI wiretap investigation and then made sure the cell wasn't recorded or accurately logged. The call, not cell, the call. Quote, today is a dark day in our city's history as people trusted to uphold the law allegedly breached that trust and were arrested by the FBI. Antioch Mayor Lamar Thorpe said in a statement, as our city absorbs this tragic news, we must come together as one. Today's actions are the beginning of the end of a long time and arduous process. Thorpe is among 3 black progressive members of the 5-person council who have said they're committed to holding police accountable. Quote, to those that have accused me and others of being anti-police for seeking to reform the Antioch Police Department, today's arrests are demonstrative of the issues that have plagued the Antioch Police Department for decades, he added. Yeah, that is insane. Y'all, like, this is why I created this channel. This channel, my YouTube, my TikTok, my Patreon. This is why. Because there's so many of them. It's like they're everywhere. Like, it's like there's not one police department that has 100% or even 50% decent cops. Like, it's like the majority of them are corrupt, and there might be a few good ones sprinkled in different areas. I mean, what is going on, dude? Like, in 2 departments, they got 12 officers, and I don't know how many officers they actually have, or how many officers that slid under the radar that are smarter than that. Because if you're, you know, there's 2 types of criminals. There's smart criminals and there's dumb criminals. The ones that get busted, blatantly busted like this, are the dumb ones. But there are so many intelligent criminals, especially cops who are criminals, that know better, that know what laws they can break, what laws they can't break, and how to fly under the radar by not sending text messages, by not having accomplices, by not doing certain things. You know what I mean? But still use excessive force, still abuse their power, their badge. You know what I mean? And get away with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but these cops aren't just criminals. They're blatantly dumb. It's like, how did you become a cop? Like, seriously, what goes through your mind? Like, you got a badge and a gun, and you think you can do whatever you want now. Like, that's how they honestly think they can do whatever they want. Just insane, yo. In freaking insane, man. Anyway, hey, if you made it to the end with me. Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. From the bottom of my broken heart, I love y'all with all the little broken pieces. And all my haters, my lovers, not lovers, that's the wrong word. All my haters, all the ones who love the channel, who hate the channel, who want to talk crap, who want to show love. Man, I have love for all of you. I don't care. I got a big enough heart for every one of you. Thank you so much. for just showing me any type of love or even a little bit of attention. Because even your hating comments at least pushes the algorithm a little bit more. So thank you. I don't even care. Anyway, man. Yeah, thank you again. I hope y'all are doing well. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day today. It's summertime still. Get out there, get some sun, have some fun. And until the next time, y'all, as we always say, stay healthy, stay free, and stay wild.